I was already looking into Malaysia Fulwiley, but the moment Dawn Staley called her a generational talent, I knew I had to look deeper. Dawn isn't one of those coaches who caps so they can boost a player's confidence. If she says something, it's because she believes it. Every year, there's at least one player who's high school. Ranking is completely nonsensical. It's not even a hindsight thing. You could look at them in high school and tell they were clearly better than ESPN was saying. Whoever ranked Malaysia Fulwiley at number 13 needs to be tested. Probably the same person who ranked Diamond Miller at 17, or Olivia Miles at number 8, or Tania Latson being ranked number 14. I'm not going to give away who it is yet, but there's a player in the 2024 class I also think ESPN is underrating for no apparent reason. There's just some players you look at and can just tell they're different. When I was thinking of a player comparison, I immediately thought of Russell Westbrook, a walking triple-double who will sometimes frustrate you with the shots they take and turnovers. But I think there's one player that fits her the best. I was very hesitant to make this comparison. I think there's certain players that shouldn't be used in comparisons with high school recruits. Off the top of my head, I think of LeBron, Michael Jordan, and Kevin Durant. Every time a player gets compared to them, it never ends up working out. I felt this way about Caitlin Calrk, but Malaysia Fulwiley is the closest thing we have seen to her in 3 years. I don't say this very lightly, but their play style is almost the exact same. The ability to create explosive offense after a defensive rebound. The crazy passes she is able to make, which results in easy shots for her teammates. The ability to drive past multiple defenders and finish in traffic. Her ability to make off the dribble threes, even if they are deep. Malaysia has worse shooting efficiency, but she provides more athleticism. I'm not saying she will be as good as Caitlin Calrk, because that would make her the best player in college basketball, but her similarity in her play style will allow her to eventually become one of the most effective guards in the nation. Ironically, she has similar weaknesses as Caitlin, which I will get into later in the video, but that's enough hyping. Time to talk about what she can do, starting with her shot creation. It seems like every top guard in this recruiting class has amazing separation skills, and that includes Malaysia Fulwiley. But I think where she's different is many guards are elite from mid-range, but their three-point shooting is average to mediocre. This is not the case with Fulwiley. These aren't high school threes either. She is shooting from WNBA range, and is able to make them. This is going to cause serious problems for the defense because of how elite she is with ball handling and driving to the basket. She is also great at catch-and-shoot threes, which is important because she will have a lot of those opportunities at South Carolina. Fulwiley is an exceptional passer. This is an important ability to have because it will allow her to contribute if her scoring is off. Her passing will work great with Cardoso. I think her and Chloe Kitts will blend together well too. Malaysia has one of the best layup packages in the class. Her ability to change her shot mid-air is not something you see very often. She is also very fast. This makes her very hard to stop in fast break situations. And her jumping ability allows her to score over bigger defenders. She's just too crafty with the ball. This will be very hard to stop with Cardoso on the floor, because the defense won't be able to help against Fulwiley without leaving Cardoso wide open. I go back and forth between Hidalgo, KK Arnold, and Malaysia as far as who the best ball handler is. I don't know how you can realistically choose. All their ball handling skills are 10 out of 10. But I can say this much, somebody's ankle's getting took. It will probably be more than one person too. This is why the title of video is called Malaysia Fulwiley Will Humble the SEC. They are going to have a false sense of security that South Carolina is weaker. They will try to show off and show out when guarding Fulwiley. Little do they know, they will end up on the wrong side of a mixtape. You also see her athleticism used on the defensive end, specifically to get steals or when she comes from behind to block someone. This is someone the opponent will always have to be mindful of where she is on the court. I mentioned this earlier in the video, that her flaws are similar to Caitlin Calrk's. I think Fulwiley has 3 distinct weaknesses. I think it's all things Caitlin struggled with her freshman year too, but got better at over the course of her career. I think Fulwiley will do the same, especially considering the coach she is playing for. She has to cut the turnovers down. I don't mind the turnovers where it's her being aggressive, but the play doesn't work out. Even Dawn alluded to this when she talked about she's okay with some turnovers because of the way she plays, which I agree with. It's the turnovers that are due to carelessness that are the ones that are bad. It's like she falls asleep sometimes. There are times she isn't paying attention to her surroundings, or the ball is too exposed. If there's anything that will hold her back from reaching her potential, it's this. She might not play much against Notre Dame because this is something they are great at exploiting. Malaysia also smokes a lot of layups. Naturally, this will happen, but it seems to be at a much higher rate than everyone else. Most of the layups she misses are because she barely gets off the ground, which is very surprising considering how athletic she is. My theory is it's probably a way for her to conserve energy. This is fine until it isn't. If you're a Gamecock fan, you're going to be really annoyed by this. Last but not least, I'm trying to think of how to say this. She plays with too much sauce sometimes. It creates great highlights, but there's also times where you're like, did she seriously just attempt this in a live game? Dawn referred to high school habits in a press conference. I don't know this for sure, but I would bet money this is what she's alluding to. Her three-point percentage is under 35%. This has nothing to do with her lack of ability to shoot threes, and everything to do with the types of threes she's taking. I want her to take deep threes and nasty step backs occasionally. I think it's what makes her so dangerous. But there's times where it's completely unnecessary. I don't say this about many players, but there's a select few players where when you see them make awful decisions, you just live with it. I feel that way about Fulwiley. You're going to see Dawn Staley yell at Fulwiley. A lot, actually. You're going to see fans get frustrated from some of the shots she's taking. But it's worth it. This is one of those players where it's better for them to mess up and make mistakes with the way they are playing than for them to make less mistakes, but you aren't getting the full value out of them. How do I think Malaysia will perform throughout her career? All SEC freshman team is practically a lock, but I think she's so special that she can be an All-American in just her second year. Her junior and sophomore year, I definitely think she'll be good enough to be on the All-American second team. This would make her a top 10 player, but the sky is the limit. I don't know if I want to go as far to say she'll make first team yet. That might sound weird considering the high praise I gave her, but there's only 5 spots. I want to be careful before I just hand them out every other freshman video. Malaysia dropped 16, 5, and 5 in the exhibition. I could see her having similar performances all season. Yeah, she will play better teams than Rutgers, but she's also going to keep getting better. I expect her to turn over the ball a lot, and her aggressive play style will hurt her field goal percentage a little, but these are things that will gradually improve over time, and the payoff is definitely worth it. Personally, I think she will take someone's starting position by the second half of the season. She's that special. How do you feel about Malaysia Fulwiley? I'm very curious on what people think her ceiling is, or how good she will be. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next Rookie Breakdown.